What's up, guys? First video with the VMAX, and honestly I still kind of can't believe we actually got this truck, but I think it's been a full week now. It's been an absolute dream. I'm really enjoying it and I can't wait to start modifying it. But you already know, before we start throwing parts of this thing, we got to get the must-dos knocked out to hopefully ensure that we have the best possible ownership experience that we possibly can. As well as we're going to do our first super good detail, which you don't really own the truck until you do that, in my opinion. That's just how I feel about it anyways. And that guy right there is going to help us tremendously today. So if you follow me on Instagram, you probably know that I'm part of the Nitto Pit Crew, and their collaboration this month was with Mothers. So we got all kinds of, I'm sure, super good detail products in here that I can't wait to use on the truck. We're not going to be doing a separate video de-grandpafying this thing, getting all of the gross accessories and things off of it. We're going to be doing it in this video. So we're also going to have a transformation of how the truck looks. Anyways, with that said, we got a bunch of stuff to do today. Hope y'all enjoy. We're gonna go ahead and start with under the hood, because that is where a bunch of things are that we need to check the fluid levels of. Pop this guy up. So we'll start from the left and go right. So thankfully, you can see right there, our coolant is perfect. It's right on the full line, so we're good there. We're gonna go ahead and check our air filter in just a second. It's probably gonna be filthy, but you never know. Brake fluid is right at the maximum line, so that is amazing. Let's check our power steering fluid. It's at the cold full line, so we are good with that. I do see this boot right here is torn, so we'll need to look into replacing that. I've already checked our oil, which we're going to be changing. We need to crank the truck up, let it run, and we can check the transmission fluid level. So you can check this when it's cold or hot. The truck is cold because I just pulled it from the barn, so it should be on the full cold mark. But if you've been driving it, there's a line that it should be at if it's hot. But it has to be running for you to check this properly. Wipe this guy off. See how she's looking. It is red. That's always a good sign. There's cold, there's full. This is your hot range. Should be in there if it's hot, but we're perfect right here on cold. Let's go ahead and remove our fill cap and pull our dipstick up. We got a 13 mil for our drain bolt. Lefty loosey, righty tighty. Let her drain. Now we're gonna go ahead and drop our oil filter. This one's a little fun due to the drive shaft, but we should be able to manage. All right, we'll let that drain real good. And before you put the new one on there, you need to go in here with a rag and clean this up super good. As well as you might notice right here on the transmission, it is a little bit damp. That's a sign of an oil leak somewhere on your GM products, and honestly anything of this age. It's probably gonna be a rear main seal. This is literally nothing. If yours is dripping like in your driveway and stuff, then it might be time to look at replacing that. But if it's just damp like this, don't even worry about it. Time to see how good the previous owner actually took care of this thing. The air filter never lies. Okay, that's looking promising. Okay, bingo. Thank you, Mr. Previous Owner. That thing looks brand freaking new. Time to prep our new filter. I am a true believer in pre-oiling them. You want to get it right in the center. Try not to get it in the little dots around the side. Holy cicada scream. You don't got to fill it up, but put a decent amount in there. Any excess you can use, put it on this seal. That way it will do what it's called and seal properly. Got our oil filter housing all wiped down. You can thread our new one on. And if you're a true oil change newbie, you're just doing this hand tight. You ain't got to crank it down with the oil wrench or anything. Just honestly as snug as you can get it with your hand. Now this guy is still dripping, but it'll probably do that for hours. So we're gonna go ahead and throw our plug in. And I did wipe it down. Yours, like mine, should have a magnet on the end. If it's got some little stuff on there, don't be too concerned. But if it's got chunks or something, you know, be concerned. Also, don't go crazy on this thing. Just like the filter, snug it up. If you do it with one hand, you shouldn't be able to apply enough pressure to snap it off. So we're good. Time to add oil. So I'm pretty positive all of your V8s from this generation take 6 quarts of oil, 4.8, 5.3, and the 6.0. I'm not sure about the 6.2. This is a 6-liter truck. So 6 quarts. Check your owner's manual and it should tell you exactly. We're gonna go ahead and dump this full 5-quart jug in there. And we are using the Mobil 1 5W30 full synthetic. We're gonna go ahead and put half of this quart in there. And then we'll crank it up, let it sit, check it, and if we need to add some, we will. Here's a prime example of why I change my oil every 5,000 miles. So if we go up here to the Express oil sticker, we're scheduled for our next one at 93.9. Well, we're at 94.6, so we're past due technically by theirs, which is what, 3 or 5,000, I don't even know. Either way, if we jump over to the computer, it says we still got 81%. So this thing would probably run 10,000 plus miles before it wasn't happy. Definitely far too long in my opinion. So I like to take my owner's manual and write in the back the date, the mileage, the oil used, the weight, and filter, and that way you know next time you want to change your oil how long it's been. Now before we close the hood, a couple other things. Check your belt, make sure it doesn't have a bunch of cracks or is loose or anything like that. And of course, check your battery cable terminals. Did I just break that? Check to see if they have corrosion and everything, and you can already see the date of ours right there, 5/21. So not an old battery, but definitely not brand new. Also, go ahead, check your CV axles. Ours look absolutely perfect. If those are torn or anything, you see any grease popping out on those, or your upper or lower, focus, ball joints, you're going to want to replace those, especially the ball joints, which there's a way to check to see if those are going bad. We'll do that in a second, but if they got grease coming out of them, you need to go ahead and replace them. So check that on both sides. Check your transmission and your transfer case. If those are leaking, that is not going to be good. Thankfully, ours is dry as a bone. You want to hop back there, check your rear diff. It can leak out the back or right there at the drive shaft. Thankfully, ours is dry on both ends, as well as your front diff up here. If yours is leaking, you want to go ahead and check the fluid. That is our fill bolt right there on the top. That's our drain on the bottom. Take the fill one off and dip your finger in there. If you got fluid on your finger, you should be good to go. Same kind of deal on the back. Just depends on what vehicle. If yours is not the same as mine, they'll have different locations for those plugs. Like you see, ours is thankfully dry as a bone. Brakes, we got drum on the rear, so not really, to my knowledge, a way of checking those without disassembly. But of course, on the front, or if you have disc all around, you can get in here and look at your brake pads, which, if I am seeing the camera correctly, we are due for a set. Check your lug nuts. Now, a pretty easy telltale sign that you got front end problems is your tires being chewed up, but look on the back of the truck, because the previous owner might have swapped it to the rear, so that if you knew to look for that, you might not have seen it, because you might not have checked the rear, because it's typically just the front. Let's give her a good spin. A little bit of brake noise, but I haven't driven the truck, so it's probably just, you know, rusty from all the rain and whatnot. Grab the top, the bottom. Shouldn't be any play. Front and the back really shouldn't be much at all. It's acceptable to have a little, because there is multiple pieces of your steering that could have a little bit of wiggle in them. That one is good to go. Hub seems good, spinning fine. Everything's rock solid. The other side should be the exact same. If you got any play from this direction, you're going to have tie rod issues. This direction, it's either going to be, well, upper lower ball joint. If it wiggles all around, then yeah, your hub's about to fall off. So check into that. Let's go ahead and unbox our care package, see what goodies we got. Holy crap. Thank you, Nitto. Thank you, mothers. I was literally just looking for some of these towels, and I didn't have any. That is freaking amazing. All right, starting off. Interior detailer. Literally what we're doing next. Protectant. Superior protection. Okay, I think this is a rubber vinyls plastic. DLR vinyl leather rubber. 3-in-1. Got something unfortunately busted up in here. Probably thanks to shipping. Back to black tire cleaner. Heck yes. What's this guy? Got spray, glass, and screen. Heck yes. And satin tire dressing. And then waterless wash and wax. Holy crap. One more thing. Scratch remover. We're about to use this bad boy today. Holy crap. That is awesome. I am so stoked to try out literally all of this. Still haven't gotten used to the fully opening rear doors, but how cool is that, man? Full access. Honestly, the truck is really clean on the inside already, thank goodness to the previous owners. But we want to go ahead and clean everything, get a new coat of our mother's products on all of our plastics, our vinyls, our rubber trims, everything, including the sunroof. That's overlooked a lot. You want to clean that seal. That's the best way to ensure that it stays nice and premium and you don't have any leaks. I guess let's run some B-roll, spit shine this interior. And just like that, our interior is finished, and holy crap, does it look good. Everything is super rich and conditioned feeling and looking, even down to our seals. Oh man. It looks so freaking good. Literally like brand new in here. I am stoked with that. Now, can I actually do this? I don't know, but we're going to try. All right. Well, it's not touching there anymore. It's still touching right here, which is not ideal. But I want to find a OEM bumper. All right. Well, it's not touching. Similar to the rear bumper, we're going to go ahead and replace this front one at some point. I don't know if I want to go paint to match or go chrome. I'm sure chrome is going to be easier to find because they bumped something here. So, you know, we obviously want to replace that, but no clue why these guys are on there. Oh, lovely. Try a little alcohol on it. As always, I greatly appreciate all the previous owners enjoying the steps, keeping our rockers minty fresh, but then baby's got to go. Steps on and steps off. It looks so much better. Got all these guys off as well. You don't want to leave those on. They'll be rattling and whatnot, as well as these are, I think, the same things that typically hold the bumper valances and stuff on. So we're going to go ahead and keep all this. Now it's time for the exterior. Start off with the pressure wash. Now we're gonna go ahead and hand wash it. We are gonna be using dish liquid because I wanna rip off any bugs, tar, grease, old wax, get it down to the bare paint. Next up is a clay bar, the paint, get any of the debris that is stuck in the clear coat itself, get this thing buttery smooth. We're gonna be using this reusable clay bar, fairly new product. I've used it once before and it worked pretty good. So with this, you can use a spray wax or you can just use soap. So lather that baby up and just like a clay bar, do it like this and it will pull everything out of the clear coat. This will get all the little specks out of your paint, whether it's white, paint having yellow specks. Did y'all hear that acorn hit the bell? Or like black specks on this red, tar, whatever it is. It'll pull all of it off. Now our paint is like glass. Got the whole truck clay barred, dried off, and ready for some wax. So if you've never waxed anything before, it's really easy. Not really any way to mess it up. Don't touch any black plastics with this because it will stain it. You don't need a ton. You just want a nice even coat. Just wax on, wax off, like the old saying goes. So just apply it, nice even coat everywhere. You're gonna wanna let it sit for a couple minutes. When it's dry and ready to come off, you can do like that with your finger and it'll swipe off. If it smears, then it's still wet or you applied too much. But yeah, it's super easy and it goes a long way. Taking the steps off was a game changer. It is so much more sporty looking, especially with a sunroof pop. Whew. Oh, she is looking good. Paint turned out great. Of course, you know, like that one right there under the mirror, there's some daggum door dings. We're gonna try to pop out of this thing real soon because the cleaner you get your truck, the more flaws you'll see. But yeah, she shined up. The wheels are also driving me nuts. I think these are the factory wheels that came on it, which they are one of the worst I've ever seen. Maybe it makes sense for being an 07, but golly, I don't know what even, it reminds me of like a rock band or something. As weird as that is to say, they're bad. They're clapped and they definitely need to come off this thing. We also got to get this suspension dialed because even though it rides amazing, we're nosediving something fierce. I forgot to take the tip off too, but we're probably gonna change the exhaust. Like I just said, oh, it rides so good, it's so quiet, it's time to ruin it. But I am definitely tickled with the outcome today. Everything seems in order, really good condition. Did not spot anything that was alarming. We got some maintenance done, got our spit shined. It's time to start driving this thing, get the mods rolling in.